Currently, we have a president who is going around saying, I'm going to support the bid for the Right Honorable Odinga. 2 years back, the same president and his deputy, they said that the Right Honorable Odinga is not good for Kenya, is not fit to lead this country. How can he be fit for Africa?
Him going to AU and whatever is happening, I honestly hope he gets it. If he does, I do not think he's best suited for that. It's time he rests.
What this means for the country is that we really need to work hard in terms of, one, securing the gains that Kenya has made globally. And indeed, there are lots of milestones that Kenya as a country has helped Africa and the world to gain, ranging from security, peace building, governance and leadership, indices that border on leadership, and really even the opportunity that we have had to stand strong for our neighbors, South Sudan, Somalia, and many others, even closer home. Number two is indeed the image that Kenya bears regionally, and I think that looking at the kind of transitions that have taken place, particularly at the AUC, the Africa Union Commission, where Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga is being seconded as a candidate of the Republic of Kenya. What does this really mean to us, particularly looking at the gains that have been made locally, and therefore lessons that other countries can be able to learn? I think that that is purely why His Excellency the President, ceteris paribus, all the other issues, including the handshakes, what this means for local politics and political parties and everything. But I believe that the President is very keen to accrue certain gains from particularly the win of Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga. Whether he wins or not is one thing that we seek to see when February 2025 gets here, because the third thing is that we know that Kenyans have very many different opinions around how this candidature was born, birthed, and even is being propelled, and especially given the kind of protests that we have seen. And so if you look at certain social media spaces, particularly on X, you see very many people, a number of, particularly the youth, the Gen Z, the Gen Z is actually speaking very, they are bringing up images and narratives that the government should not, in my view, take for granted. Not to mention that they don't vote, but of course we know who votes, the Council of Ministers. But whatever thing is posted over there, and the globe is reading and is watching, without necessarily being keen to look at issues around mis and disinformation and propaganda. And so the government needs to be very keen in terms of packaging the communication around the Kenyan candidate, and really how that packaging is being carried and communicated out there. Right. Actually, I don't think I want to comment on that, because we know that with the exit of Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, very many handshakes are going to fall. The people who depend on him for their hands to be lifted up, as Sam Tosha, Kevin Osido Tosha, Harvey Tosha, I think those are people who are going to lose from this particular process, and it's going to open a new slate and a new space.
Raila will lose in February. What will happen? And I say this because I've been trying to analyze currently, as of now, because we still have a few months to go, the countries that are likely to vote and how they are likely to vote. And I don't see even him garnering 10 votes. 10 votes, he will not yield. We are not even sure of the Kenyan vote, but that's another story. The reason I say this is because we have Djibouti, we have Algeria, and now we have Kenya. And I'm looking at the African countries arrangement. In East Africa, we must accept that the international standing of our country as Kenya has been downgraded by the recent behavior of our president. If this was happening in his early months of our appointment into office, we were ranking highly. He was all over the African countries and the world, and there was a good public image internationally for Kenya. Right now, we are not very well rated. The Sahel region, the northern, southern region, they are likely not going to vote for Kenya. for two reasons. Remember them, they are not pro-Western, which we are. Largely, Kenya has exposed its underbelly. We've gone running into the White House. And almost every other African leader was not very happy with that move. The same African Union had to stop our current president from addressing the world as if he was the African Union chair. You know, so what does that say? Power dynamics are playing out in a way that is not favorable for us as Kenyans. Now, look at the candidates. The Right Honorable Odinga, his age is not a plus. He's been very vocal in the second liberation of the, let's say, African countries, you know, starting with Kenya. But currently, Kenyans rate him as a betrayer of the current third liberation. Currently, we have a president who is going around saying, I'm going to support the bid for the Right Honorable Odinga. Yet, 2 years back, the same president and his deputy, they said that the Right Honorable Odinga is not good for Kenya, is not fit to lead this country. How can he be fit for Africa? They called him all names, you know. Politics of deceit, mganga, mchawi, and everything, every party he gets into collapses. We've seen UDA collapsing already. So what confidence does that exude that 2 years ago you told us your opponent is not fit to lead your own country, but now you want us to trust him with over 50 countries of Africa? That does not add up very well.
Raila still stands out as an African statesman. What I don't know is what his serial handshakes with whatever government that he has gone to elections with and lost and serially gotten into government. I don't know whether that will count or not, but as a country, this is a very, very important assignment, and our achievement as a country in securing that position would quite boost our image in the International Committee of Nations.
I want to wish Baba the very best in this contest. He has been a good statesman in Kenya. It is now a high opportunity for him to be a statesman in Africa. But fundamentally, and what most people may not realize, there is a deliberate attempt to remove Raila Odinga from the political environment in Kenya, which may be good, because for almost 5 electoral cycles, he's been the second alternative. It is high time that in Kenya, we had new blood to offer an alternative form of leadership at the helm of the presidency in Kenya.
Raila Odinga is reputed to be an intensely pro-democracy leader. I think his contribution in our democratic maturity is well recorded, and I think it's appreciated locally. And just to develop the point that Mheshimiwa said, the handshakes, Kenyans may not realize it, but it has a particular international appeal. It lends him the kind of legitimacy he needs as he aims now for the AU chairmanship, because in the region and in the global south, political stability is an important imperative for good governance. And the fact that fierce political rivals can build consensus quickly after an election and have handshakes, while locally we may protest, but internationally that is seen as an act of statesmanship, Pan-Africanism. And Raila also brings his own deep political infrastructure across the region, something that perhaps Mheshimiwa Amina did not have. He has his own international appeal. He has deep networks across Africa and the globe. And I think he's capable of sustaining his own campaign for this AU chairmanship, even without the support of government. But because this must be a government-sponsored project, I think it's refreshing to see Kenyans uniting, to push for his bid. I think he has a decent shot. Chances are he may just get it. And we do wish him the very best.
Ruto knows how to play his cards. And at this point, that's why he's really focusing on the Nyanza area for his campaigns, because he's been campaigning ever since he got into power. So this is also a campaign card for me. And the one thing that he's doing is, we have a lot of homecoming now from these 4 newly appointed CSs. So everybody's going back home to get prayed for, or rather for Thanksgiving, and the president is with them. So what does this mean? He's trying to also show these people that, okay, this is now my broad-based government. I am incorporating everyone, but it's a political card. Unfortunately for me, and I say this because I think most of us, like Buluma said, grew up looking at Raila as, all right, you are actually speaking and filling the gap for that person who does not have the voice to be heard, or rather that person who on a normal day would not be listened to. And then coming to recent times, it seems like the ODM did not look so democratic as we hoped and as we looked at it as. So just looking at what everything is doing is, are we going to succeed? Maybe it's too early to speak, but I don't think we're going anywhere, because it seems they did not listen to actual issues. And our politics is always same monkeys, different forests. Now all the monkeys are in the same forest. So the question is, will the monkeys be too greedy to eat everything? Or are they going to remain anything for the common person?